Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365, and today I'm going to give my non-spoiler review of Spider-Man Far From Home. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification. I put out videos daily. You can also find me over at Twitter and Instagram at Movie Guy 365. Alright, before I start, this is going to be a non-spoiler review of Spider-Man Far From Home. Obviously, I won't get into the deep nitty and gritty of things. I'm going to save that for my spoiler review. I'm going to post that either Friday or Saturday. So I'm going to be very vague, and I apologize in advance for that, but I'm going to just talk about a few things I did enjoy, things I didn't enjoy so much, give you my overall score, and then I'll have a much grander, in-depth review on that one Friday. So, Spider-Man Far From Home, the first Marvel Cinematic Universe movie to take place directly after Endgame. And overall, you know, as much as I do enjoy Tom Holland as Peter Parker / Spider-Man, and I enjoyed all the cast from Homecoming. Now, pretty much everybody is back this time around. Several characters are actually given kind of bumps up in as far as how much, you know, screen time they've been given. A lot of them are just directly associated with Peter's closest core group, and that's Ned, of course. Although I feel that his overall arc was a little bit less, given, I guess, to the other characters to kind of fill out the screen. Even Flash Thompson, while I actually really enjoyed him in Homecoming, he kind of was pushed to the back. He was given kind of more of a really supporting role. Betty Brant has been given a lot more to do in this film. Zendaya as MJ, a lot more to do in this film. But they also brought up a few other characters that I feel should have stayed back. Should have stayed back to relegated to what they were in the first movie. I don't know. For some reason, Martin Starr was given a lot more to do in this film. I don't think he necessarily needed to be given that huge amount. I mean, he had a couple okay lines, but mostly it was kind of like just unnecessary noise and some cringeworthy dialogue on his part. So overall, the story is an undisclosed amount of time has happened since Endgame. I don't think a terribly amount, because they are still referring to what they call now the blip. People disappearing, and then 5 years later, they do their best to explain how that actually worked. And they even kind of do a wink and a nod about how much we, the fans, have been debating, you know, the linears of all of it. So it was kind of an amusing thing. More or less, it's basically an academic summer vacation in Europe when all of a sudden elementals start attacking various points, and then Mysterio shows up as the new quote-unquote hero, and things just take off from there. We have Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio. I thought he was very, very good in the role, very menacing. I'm going to talk about a bit more about him in the actual spoiler review, but I enjoyed his bad guy persona. Although I felt like, while he was good, I don't feel he was elevated good. And in fact, he came across as more Jake Gyllenhaal than, you know, Quentin Beck as far as that goes. And, you know, I like him as an actor. I really, really do. And if you've seen him in movies like Nightcrawler and, you know, Donnie Darko, you know he can act. But this one felt more, you know, I don't know. I'm really going to dive into it on the spoiler review. Overall, I enjoyed everybody in the movie. For some reason though, there was a bit of a disconnect for me. I can't quite place what it was though. I'm still really thinking about it. And I've also mentioned, I believe when I was talking about Spider-Man Homecoming in the Endgame countdown videos, I like my Spider-Man to be in New York City. And my biggest criticism of Homecoming was he spent a lot of time in, you know, Washington, D.C. and away from the city. But there was still a little bit more even keel in that movie. This one, there's almost no time in New York City whatsoever. It kind of gets bookmarked a little bit with that, but I would have preferred to see more. And seeing Spider-Man swinging around in Europe and that kind of thing, I don't know, for some reason I just don't associate him with that kind of landscape and going out that way. I prefer like skyscrapers and things. And also, I can't help but feel that Marvel, at least for some reason, or I don't know if we can blame Marvel, Sony, what's going on, they kind of keep Spider-Man not as he is intellectually. You know, he is like one of the more genius characters in the comics, and they've even really touched on that in the previous incarnations as far as the movies go. But for some reason, it just doesn't come across here. He seems like inept in certain circumstances, and That's something I just don't understand why they do it that way. I think, as I said, things I did enjoy. I did enjoy all the actors. I think everybody did a good job. There was maybe one annoying one, which I'll touch on in the spoiler video. And there's, but the overall disconnect I feel for the film, it just has to do, I think, with the larger Marvel universe that, as a whole. But you don't really see a whole lot of the after effect of Endgame, because we all know what happens and, coming back and that kind of thing. And it just seemed like everything else was just kind of there and just not, there wasn't any real consequences to that other than what was verbally spoken by some of the characters. I don't know. Once again, I think it's more of a thing where Sony produced this versus Marvel Disney, and it just has a weird connection to it. Overall, I did enjoy the movie. I am going to give it a 7 out of 10. As I said, there's a few things I don't like, but I really want to save stuff like that for the spoiler review. But I think if you are a fan of Spider-Man, if you're a fan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe as a whole, and of course stay for the end credit scenes, that kind of thing, you will absolutely enjoy this film. But I don't feel this would be very high on my personal Marvel Cinematic Universe as far as rankings. I might do that once again at the end of the year and just kind of really just, where I think it hovers around Homecoming, to be honest. And, that's kind of on my bottom tiers. It's an enjoyable film. Not particularly, memorable, I guess. Because, I don't know, it's weird. In a thing, I don't have any real desire to see it in the theater again. I think one and done is really going to be what I do. I will, of course, get it on disc, and we'll do a separate review for that. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't have the urge to go see it again in the theater. But, let me know in the comments below what you think, and stay tuned for my spoiler-filled review of this. I'll really dive into it. Look for that Friday or Saturday. Let me know if you saw it, and in the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. I put out videos every single day. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.